Mitchell.
Well, hazy days continue. Massive wildfires raging in eastern Canada are sending huge plumes of smoke across the border, blanketing thousands of square miles in the northeastern U.S. and the upper Midwest.
While there is a silver lining, there are still questions that remain about just how much toxic air we have been breathing over the last few days. Air quality is our big story today. The Canadian wildfire smoke that's been choking New York this week is slowly pushing across the Northeast. Places like D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia suffering air quality ranging from unhealthy to very unhealthy. Various airports in the region are also experiencing ground stops or delays due to low visibility. The FAA listed the changing conditions for passengers online. Many people report feeling a difference in the air itself.
I can feel it in my lungs, and when I'm walking around, I can it's pretty intense.
I felt like I couldn't really breathe, catch my breath as I usually would be able to.
At the source of the wildfires smoking out the eastern U.S., the Canadian province of Quebec. Air quality conditions have been steadily improving, according to NOAA satellites and data from Environment Canada. Fire season is only beginning in Canada, though, and generally gets worse in July and August. It typically lasts until September. The Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center says more than 9 million acres have been charred by wildfires so far this year. That's about 15 times the normal for this point in the season.
And here's some live pictures out of Buffalo, New York. The air quality there has greatly improved in the last couple of days, but you can still see a bit of haze on the horizon. Earlier this afternoon, the Ohio EPA issued an updated statement saying the statewide air quality advisory here in Ohio is now dropped. Officials say smoke from Canadian wildfires is now having less of an impact throughout the state, allowing them to allow the advisory to expire. The EPA does warn smoke particle levels may still be high in a few areas, and they're asking you to monitor air quality in your area.
So how exactly can you monitor that air quality? Well, airnow.gov is publicly available from the U.S. EPA and breaks down air quality by your city. You can see the details in a list or look at the interactive map you can see here to track the spread. Let's take a closer look at exactly what I'm talking about. You can see a majority of our area is in that yellow color, which means moderate air quality. A few isolated areas in there are in orange, where the air could be dangerous for those sensitive groups.
Plenty of people are out and about enjoying themselves today. That includes kids who are soaking it up in the splash pad at Promenade Park. Now, I stopped by there at about noon to see who was outside and whether anyone was concerned about the smoke from the Canadian wildfires or captured this footage. One woman told me she and her family are here from Cincinnati for a baseball tournament. She did not feel like the air quality was an issue at all.
You know, today feels pretty clear. We're enjoying the day, the sun's out, so it doesn't feel like we're really impacted by the air quality today.
And then going to the Westgate area of Toledo, plenty of people were still out shopping and running their errands. Those who heard about the wildfire smoke says it's concerning, but it's not going to stop their daily routine.
I hate what the air's doing, but I also feel very out of control about it. And so maybe I'm kind of just choosing flight instead of fight right now.
It is rare for our area to experience extended periods of unhealthy air quality. For Ohio's top air quality expert this week was one he says he'll never forget.
Josh Krupp is live with his thoughts on what we've been experiencing this week. Hey, Josh.
Hey guys, tomorrow Bob Hodenbosky will mark 50 years working at the Ohio EPA. He currently serves as the chief of the Division of Air Pollution Control, and he says in the past the state has had to issue localized air quality warnings, but what we saw this week is something he has never quite experienced in his professional career before, with the Ohio EPA issuing that statewide air quality alert. And as you just mentioned, that advisory is now canceled. Now, he says the state has kept a close eye on monitors located across Ohio throughout this week. They use those to help them issue these alerts. There has been improving technology over the course of the past few decades that is improving that effort.
There really hasn't been an episode like this. And a lot has to do with the fact that we have continuous air quality monitors now. We have had impacts from some forest fires in Kentucky, say, but this is the first time we've actually been able to monitor it on a continuous basis.
Hodenbosky says he's been encouraged by how things have been improving and says the highest reading that the Ohio EPA saw over the course of these last few days was 150 on the air quality index. In New York, that value exceeded 400 at its peak. Reporting live, Josh Krupp, 13 Action News.
Okay, so let's just get a recap of how bad the wildfire smoke got here in Northwest Ohio. First Alert weather team has actually been keeping a close eye on the levels all week long and including today, but meteorologist Dan Smith has a closer look at what we're seeing, and I'm going to get out of the way so we can take a look at it.
Yeah, we do have some of the numbers on here, and we just checked on this in those airnow.gov readings that Claire was pointing out. These are updated every hour, and so these are the essentially live at the top of the hour, much like our weather observations here. Toledo coming in at a 65. That's sort of that caution level, that yellow that Claire had pointed out here. Adrian has actually come down, which is very good news, since the lunch hour. It was about 151 at 11 a.m. Now it's 102. So we do have some of that air quality improving here. The lower the number, it's like a golf score, the lower the better on this one, but it is still a bit unhealthy for those sensitive groups out there. The key word you might notice on this FAIR chart, smoke near the ground. Let's take a look at that history. You see a lot of that racing on through. Well, even though this shows we do have some smoke right over us, you can still tell a bit of haze on the horizon. You step outside, you go, well, it looks more blue. It's not so bad. Again, this may not be an exact picture. We do have some of that smoke being reported still up towards even Coldwater, Michigan, still in that orange category, for example, just west of Hillsdale. But then you see even for tomorrow, that wind direction shifts. It no longer is coming from Quebec and the like, from the direction of those wildfires. It's coming from the northwest instead. So we have the smoke ushered out, and that is also why we're allowing that rain to be ushered in and to help further clear the atmosphere.
Thank you, Dan. And that smoke hit surface level for some time, but how bad is it for your health? Well, some physicians say wildfire smoke is estimated to be 10 times more toxic than pollution from burnt fossil fuels. And according to the American Heart Association, when red and orange alerts are issued for unhealthy air quality, remaining outdoors could cause negative health effects and activate and aggravate pre-existing conditions. Inhaling wildfire smoke for a prolonged period of time can lead to some health issues, ranging from just some coughing and wheezing to some more serious stuff like respiratory and cardiovascular problems. Hence, why these officials have told people in affected areas to avoid going outside if they can, and to wear a good quality mask if it can't be avoided.
And burning wildfire produces many different kinds of particles. A lot of those are not great for your health. What health authorities and researchers spend most of their time worrying about are the particles with a diameter of less than 2.5 micrometers, known as PM 2.5. Our bodies have defenses like nose hairs designed to keep particles from entering our lungs when we breathe. The tiny PM 2.5 particles are small enough to get past those barriers and settle in your lungs. From there, they may be able to enter the bloodstream, potentially damaging other parts of the body, and that's when air quality alerts get issued.
All right, you can watch this full big story on our 13 ABC News app. That's going to be available as a free download.